All right, let's get right into it. There's a massive economic shift happening in India right now, and believe me, it's a story that goes way beyond just simple growth numbers. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of the entire country's tech future. And it all kicks off with this number, $68 billion. Now, this isn't just a big check. What you're looking at is a totally unprecedented wave of capital, a huge strategic bet from both big tech and Japan, all focused on one thing: building out India's core AI and semiconductor infrastructure from the ground up.
But, this isn't just about taking in foreign money. The real strategy here is something called sovereign AI, and this quote really nails it. This is being seen as a national imperative. It's all about building the capability right here at home to control your own core technology. Why? Well, for security, for sparking local innovation, and for just being more resilient in what's, let's face it, a pretty complex world.
So when you have that kind of confidence at the very top, it creates these powerful echoes, right? A ripple effect across the entire market, and that's exactly what's happening. It's setting off a frenzy of corporate deal-making, which shows that this belief in India's future, well, it's not just talk. People are putting serious money behind it.
Oh, look at this. We're not just talking about one or two mega deals that are skewing the numbers. Nope. We're seeing a really broad-based surge, 37% in mergers and acquisitions. That tells you the confidence is widespread, with investors making big strategic bets across all kinds of different sectors of the economy.
And this table just illustrates that point perfectly. I mean, you can see these huge deals happening across the board. Banking, infrastructure, energy, you name it. But that one at the top, the $3 billion acquisition of RBL Bank, that's a landmark deal. It is officially the largest foreign direct investment in the entire history of India's financial services. That is a massive vote of confidence.
Okay, so let's dig into how all this is even possible. Because this kind of massive investment, it doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? It's being actively enabled and honestly even encouraged by some really smart, forward-thinking regulation. You could say the architects of this new economy are busy laying down the tracks for the train.
And you can see it right here. The regulators are literally building the rails for this transformation. They're changing the rules for things like REITs, that's real estate investment trusts, to pull more money into the market. They're creating new frameworks for AI-only funds to steer that capital right toward that $68 billion vision. And at the same time, they're beefing up the security of the whole digital financial system.
So you saw that term SBOM on the last slide. What exactly is a software bill of materials? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like a nutrition label or a list of ingredients, but for a piece of software. It forces companies to know exactly what code they're using, which makes the whole digital supply chain way more transparent and a heck of a lot more secure.
And this isn't just some one-time check-the-box exercise. It's a whole mature, four-stage process. You start by getting prepared, then you actually generate these SBOMs, then you have to continuously monitor them for new threats, and finally, you integrate all that knowledge deep into how your organization handles security and risk. It's all about building security in from the start, not just trying to bolt it on later.
But that brings us to the big question. Why India? Why right now? What is giving all these investors and regulators the confidence to make these huge moves? Well, it's because underneath all this activity, there is a powerful and really resilient economic engine, just humming along.
And that engine churned out a remarkable 7.8% year-over-year GDP growth in just the first quarter of the fiscal year. That number blew past what all the market experts were expecting, and it really just highlighted the fundamental strength of the economy.
And this isn't some one-off sugar rush either. The outlook is looking incredibly strong. You've got projections showing this sustained growth, around 6.9% for the next couple years. And this isn't just wishful thinking. It's based on really strong domestic demand and major structural reforms, like the goods and services tax, that are really starting to pay off.
You can think of this growth as being fired by two powerful cylinders. On one side, you have this massive government push on infrastructure. Capital spending is just surging. And on the other side, you've got strong private consumption, which jumped 7%, partly because tax cuts put more money back into people's pockets. It's a really powerful, self-reinforcing cycle.
So when you start to put all these pieces together, you've got the strategic capital, you've got the corporate action, the proactive policy, and that underlying macro stability, a really clear picture of a whole new economic era for India starts to emerge.
Which of course leaves us with a pretty critical question to chew on.
Are we actually witnessing the birth of a new global tech power, one that's being built not just on services, like in the past, but on this really deliberate, well-funded foundation of sovereign capability and strategic capital? I'd love to know what you think.
Hey, if you found this breakdown of India's tech transformation helpful for connecting the dots, do us a favor and like, share, and subscribe for more insights like this. And we'd really love to read your perspective down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching.